Right now, the Madison mayor unveiling the city's 2025 budget proposal. We'll break down how it will affect you.
Plus, Florida bracing for a monster hurricane. When and where Milton is expected to hit. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning here on a pretty busy Wednesday. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Unley alongside Savannah Brito. Thanks for waking up with us this morning.
So more than a dozen counties in Florida are under mandatory evacuation orders this morning. Savannah, you've been tracking this thing for a few days now. Just kind of put in perspective, how big of a storm this is and what it could mean there for the people in Florida.
The fact that it rapidly intensified the way it did, the eye is so defined. You can see that behind you guys too. It is becoming a little bit more obscured now the closer it gets to making landfall, and it's still bringing rain as early as right now to areas coastal and inland of Florida. But hearing those sirens, that was eerie in the video that we had, the video.
Yeah, you can hear just the sheriff's office going down the roadways, like they have a message playing, evacuate, evacuate, please, evacuate. So
officials are warning that this is going to be a once-in-a-century storm.
Now, a steady stream of traffic moving inland has brought highway traffic to a crawl. If you've seen the videos, it's insane. Tampa's airport closed down yesterday, with Orlando's airport suspending operations in just a few hours this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And while many are leaving, some plan to stick it out.
We were going to stay, but I don't want to take the chance. I'm in high-rise downtown, so I feel pretty comfortable where I'm at. I got plenty of food and supplies.
In areas like Treasure Island, already hit hard by Hurricane Helene almost 2 weeks ago, looks like a ghost town. Tom Potter says he and his family were in the early stages of cleanup after Helene.
Thinking that this storm could be the one that actually takes it all away is pretty scary.
Now, both Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando theme parks announced they'll close early today. They'll remain closed until tomorrow. I'd say it's just not the risk you'd want to take to go out there anyway.
Absolutely.
There's so much at stake, so much at risk. Let's take a live look at St. Petersburg and Tampa Bay. It doesn't look like much right now, but this is where the storm is taking pretty much a direct aim, if not the St. Petersburg, Tampa area, a little bit further south to Sarasota. Is that right, Savannah?
Yeah, it was expected right across between Tampa and Sarasota yesterday, and now it's expected to take aim straight at Sarasota. That's still about the same area as yesterday. That eye is still defined, but like I said, the closer inland that it's moving, it's becoming a little bit less defined, but still nonetheless very scary looking storm on radar. It's expected to make and maintain that status. It probably will be a high end 4 when it makes landfall across Florida near Sarasota later this evening between 6, 7, and 8 p.m. That's when a lot of those models are showing it making its way across the Tampa Bay area. This is 4:30, still off the coast, and then you can see the later into the evening that we do get. This is now 7:30, making its way inland, probably landfall a little bit earlier or right about that 7 p.m. time frame. Very strong winds, a lot of storm surge expected with this storm, and it's actually expected to maintain that hurricane status even inland as it travels. For us, we could use the rain. We're not really going to see any, possibly a little bit during that Friday, Saturday, Sunday time frame. We have a lot of warm weather up until then, and then a big pattern change. I don't think it's going to last that long, though. We're talking about the 80s on Friday, a cooler weekend ahead, though, where temperatures are going to drop off, especially into early next week. We'll have how low they're going to get across southern Wisconsin coming up.
All right, Savannah, thank you. People in the southeast, of course, are still recovering from Hurricane Helene.
And that's right, but there are people from our area that are heading down there to help here soon. And we're going to take a live look now from the Dane County Regional Airport, and that's where some of the crew, well, actually, we have somebody from the American Red Cross who's headed to North Carolina this morning. All right,
our Michelle Renee Quinn is with her live. Good morning.
Good morning. I am Julie Zimmerman. I'm with the American Red Cross here in Madison, Wisconsin.
All right. Tell us.
Where are you going?
So I am actually headed out this morning to fly into Charlotte, North Carolina to provide some relief to the folks that have been on the ground there working for the hurricane relief disaster.
tell us why this is important?
So, yeah, this morning it's, you know, we've really have an all call on deck, you know, all hands on deck call as far as getting some folks down to provide some relief for these folks that are just struggling so much after getting hit with so much rain in the Carolinas right now. I'm going down to help with Helene. You know, we're already preparing. We've sent so many volunteers, these amazing volunteers down to Florida to prepare for Milton, you know, making landfall. That we still have cleanup and efforts, you know, in the Carolinas. So I'm actually providing some backup relief to go down to North Carolina. So.
And again, that was Julie Zimmerman with the American Red Cross of Wisconsin, headed to North Carolina this morning.
Yeah, thinking about all those victims down there and the volunteers that are helping everybody out. 6:05 now, we want to get to some other top stories today. That a woman is in critical condition after being shot by a Walworth County deputy. It happened Tuesday just before 4 p.m. in East Troy. It started when the Walworth County Sheriff's Office got a call from a man saying that a woman attacked him with a razor blade. When deputies got there, the woman allegedly exited the home through a window, armed with a knife. The woman reportedly did not drop the weapon when asked by deputies and then advanced toward officers, and that is when a Walworth County deputy fired their rifle, striking the woman. Again, that woman is in critical condition. First responders then transported the woman to a hospital. She remains in custody and charges are pending.
The Dane County Medical Examiner confirms that the body found last week is 24-year-old Brooke Stratton. It comes a week after family reported her missing. Madison police considered the death suspicious. Police found Stratton in a pond on UW Arboretum property. She had last been seen Monday, September 30th near Odana Road and Whitney Way with a male acquaintance. A cause and manner of death have not yet been released and additional testing is underway. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes says the man last seen with her is in custody at the Dane County Jail for an unrelated charge. However, police are questioning him with connection to her disappearance.
Madison's mayor has unveiled what the city's 2025 operating budget could look like. It all depends on that November referendum and if it passes or not. Our Ellie La Liberté breaks down what's at stake.
The operating budget is in a structural deficit, but the mayor says there is an option that could help, and it all comes down to what voters decide to do in November.
In November, there's a simple choice on the ballot.
That choice is a referendum, asking voters to help make up for a $22 million deficit in the operating budget. If approved, it would increase property taxes for the average homeowner by $230 annually.
We can choose to make those investments, or we can choose to back away from them.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway giving voters a choice. One version of the proposed budget details what happens if a referendum passes, and an alternative details what happens if it does not. If voters approve the referendum, the city will add 2 new garbage machine operators to keep up with the city's growth.
We've really reached the point where if we don't have new folks to drive a new truck, we're just not going to be able to pick up the trash.
It would also reallocate money to the library system for an imagination center. Rhodes Conway says that proposal isn't much different from previous years.
It's essentially a cost to continue budget. We are not proposing new big ideas.
However, if the referendum does not pass, that significantly changes what the budget looks like.
We are projecting $5.6 million in cuts to services, in addition to the $3.4 million that's in the executive operating budget.
It will impact 18 full-time positions, reduce Metro Transit's budget, and limit public works, library, and public safety services.
Over the past 14 years, we've asked the majority of our staff to do more with less.
But the hope is that it won't come to that, because that could mean these cuts won't be the first.
In addition to cuts that would be necessary to make in 2025, it also anticipates that we would need to continue to make cuts year over year if other funding sources are not available.
Both versions of this operating budget will head to the Common Council to be discussed. But for now, reporting in Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Well, we're a couple of weeks into Madison's new bus rapid transit system, and the city is still working through some kinks. There have been some cancellations on parts of Route B recently. These are because of shortages in the Flyer electric bus fleet. It's because Route B uses a different charging process than buses on Route A. Route B runs from downtown Madison on East Wash all the way to Sun Prairie.
Let's check in now with Savannah. Savannah, what's coming up?
Guys, we do have a lot of areas across Florida that are going to be included in the potential areas that are 12 feet plus storm surge is expected. We'll have all of that regarding Milton coming up.
And we're helping you out with some Halloween costume ideas, and some are as easy as this. Tacky tourists. We're going to have more inspiration from Goodwill coming up next, live in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Brought to you by Toyota.
Dear road rivals, no truck on the road drives value like the Tundra. Day after day, mile after mile, it all adds up to big savings under the hood. What's under yours? Toyota Tundra.
Right now, lease a new Tundra for $479 a month or get 3.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Be the scariest house in the block this Halloween at Menards.
He murdered a father of 3, sentenced to life in prison. Kamala Harris pushed to use tax dollars to pay for his sex change.
I made sure that they changed the policy so that every transgender inmate would have access.
It sounds insane because it is insane. Kamala was the first to help pay for a prisoner's sex change.
The power that I had, I used it in a way that was about pushing for the movement, frankly, and the agenda.
Kamala's agenda is they, them, not you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
This shouldn't take too long, should it?
I'll have the unit up and running in a jiffy. Oh, sorry, I have to go to the shop. Sorry, I don't have that part either. Sorry, I don't have that part either.
But you said it would be quick. A fully stocked truck can make a huge difference. Call Cardinal.
Rich, indulgent chocolate with a luscious caramel filling. Discover Ghirardelli caramel squares in a bag and a bar. Makes life a bite better.
Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hubby do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hubby, what's wrong with this guy?
Prices are up, wages are down, inflation is crushing Wisconsin families. Yet Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Even more radical, Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. Tax hikes and higher prices for families and those living on fixed incomes. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme. Reject Sarah Kieski and her radical agenda.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
We've been tracking hurricane Hurricane Milton still maintaining its strength as a Category 5 storm as it gets closer and closer to Florida and making landfall, probably about Sarasota, that area, as a Category 4 storm. So it might weaken a little bit, but not much. That's not expected anyway. So still Category 5, those wind speeds at the top, 160 miles per hour, but gusts are topping out very close to 200 miles per hour. A lot of areas included in watches and warnings. This is a hurricane warning, that hot pink color. Yesterday it was showing it making landfall as a Cat 3. Like I mentioned, it probably maintaining strength, and now expected, like I was mentioning yesterday, as a Cat 4 storm. It's taking a direct aim, looks like, with the latest model data and trends at Sarasota. Yesterday it was a little further north between Tampa and Sarasota, so that track a little bit further south now. That'll be later this evening between 6, 7, and 8 p.m. That's when it's expected, and actually going to maintain its strength as it moves inland, even across Avon Park, Kissimmee, and then out back into the Atlantic Ocean as a Category at least 1, maybe even 2 storm. It is prompting a lot of storm surge warnings as well. This area that's hot pink that stretches north of Tampa area, Tarpon Springs, Clearwater, Tampa, St. Petersburg, and as far south as Venice and just west of Port Charlotte, those areas could see 12+ feet of storm surge. It's expected. Life-threatening situation. Lots of counties down there under mandatory evacuation orders. Temperatures here locally are going to climb close to 70 today. It'll definitely be a warm day here. We're going to be a little bit above average. Not as warm as what we're forecasting for Friday, though, when temperatures could actually top out near 81 degrees. We'll be down to 60 by Sunday, and then even the 50s in forecast for Monday and Tuesday. That overnight low that's going to get down to 32 is going to be really cold Tuesday morning.
You ready for that, Carry-On?
Oh, yeah. Got to break out the gloves, hat, and everything. Yeah, got it.
Thanks, Savannah. In the 608 this morning, we're 3 weeks from Halloween, and we're helping you out with some costume ideas.
That's right. Josh Spider is live in Madison this morning with some spooky season inspiration.
It's a Mario.
Yeah. Oh, he changed his outfit from just a few minutes ago.
It's me, Mario. Good morning, guys. Yeah, some are as simple as what you saw, you know, before the commercial break as a tacky tourist. Another one, obviously, I went into full costume for Mario this morning, so this one took a little bit more thought. But this is what it's all about, right? We're in spooky season. We're trying to help you with a little bit of that inspiration. And, of course, you can't have Mario without Luigi! Matt Kautsky of Goodwill joining us this morning. Matt, good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning to you.
And my partner in crime here this morning.
Crime? I thought we were saving the princess.
That's true. We got a Princess Peach.
Yes, and we got to get those coins. Come on
Yes,
now.
we do. We have a big task this morning, and you're helping us out with some inspiration because I know Halloween can be stressful for a lot of families, but really it can be easy when it comes down to it, losing your mustache.
My mustache, sorry. So excited about Halloween.
Yes.
Absolutely. You can have a lot of fun here. When we're walking around, there's all sorts of different options, some new, some used, and you can really be creative with it. You can use this mustache for much more than Luigi, I would say.
That's what I love about it, too. And obviously, some you can go as pairs, right? You can make a whole group thing out of it, or you can do more of an individualized look.
Yes, we can. And I mean, we could get a whole team here. I'm sure we could find a princess outfit, or if we want to do something a little bit more, we could probably find something like a cowboy or anything easier like a witch.
Let's talk a little bit about Goodwill's mission here, because obviously reuse, recycle, and it all is for a good cause too.
It is. It is a second life for a lot of these one-time use things that people will purchase and then they don't know what to do after it. They don't want to be the same thing year after year. So coming in here, we're going to help that circularity as it relates to all of this so that it doesn't end up in a landfill or anything like that. It has its next life and hopefully more on down the line. For me, my kids love to dress up, so this has a lot of lives in our household.
And this is what's so fun is you can bring the whole family in and really start from there. I mean, the options are endless.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, you can get really creative. It doesn't have to be something that everyone knows. My son, for example, would come in here, grab 10 different things, put it all on, and we'd have a great outfit and a great time with
And
that.
it's also not going to break the bank, which is key.
It won't. I mean, all of this is going to be a very, very economical and make it sort of fun for them.
And then think about at the end of Halloween, too, you're also asking people to, you know, redonate them back, right?
Yes, please, bring it on back. We want to make sure that this continues to have a life and it doesn't just end up in that closet or eventually in the garbage. This this all can go again and again and again.
So obviously your recommendations probably get in here sooner rather than later, as it will get nuts over the next few weeks.
Yes, in the next couple of weeks, this will all go from full and busy and bustling to something that is pretty barren, because this is a great place to do it. And lots of people do come in teams and as groups and just kind of figure it out and try it all on.
And what's nice with Goodwill South Central Wisconsin, you guys have many locations across the 608, so find the one nearest you.
Yeah, we've got 14 locations that we have that you could go to take a look and piece them all together. You can go one piece from every store if you wanted to be so crazy.
Awesome, Matt. Or Luigi.
Yes,
thank you so much. Get that mustache back on, by the way.
There we go.
Now that you're done talking, I know it is a little distracting.
difficult.
It's a lot to have that mustache, guys. If you'd like to learn more about what's happening here at Goodwill for Halloween, just go to the story up on channel3000.com. This might be just one of my favorite costumes right away. It's because I have Luigi with me here, guys. How can you not be happy here in the 608?
You're too perfect.
It's the perfect duo. Like, you got the tall, you got the shorter, you know. It's just chef's kiss.
Loving it, Josh. Talk soon. Josh is always looking for inspiration to share with you in the 608. If you've got a story idea you want to see in the segment, just reach out and let him know about it.
Well, still ahead, why a pack of wild critters swarmed a woman's yard and a record-setting pumpkin.
Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to hear from experts on how much political ads on television really help the candidates.
And as we head to break this morning, here's a look at gas prices. We'll be right back.
Free for the people, only on News 3 Now.
Hey there, Madison. Dina here again. If you have a plumbing emergency, you need the RHD Dream Team difference. Call us in the morning and we'll see you the same day. If it leaks, bursts, or freezes, you need the RHD Dream Team. We remedy your disaster fast. That's the Dream Team difference.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need. Because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
Fentanyl is one of the most lethal drugs on the market. This much can kill thousands. These deadly drugs are pouring across our border. But Biden, Harris, and Democrats have done nothing to stop it. Tammy Baldwin claims she's trying, but she's failed. She took credit for an anti-fentanyl bill she didn't write and opposed efforts to secure the border. Senator Baldwin and Democrats have done nothing, and our communities are paying the price.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
With high inflation, working families like mine are hurting, and Kamala Harris helped create this mess. Now, while Americans struggle, Kamala spent our tax dollars putting illegal immigrants up in hotel rooms, and she supported spending our tax dollars to give illegals sex changes. It's not just liberal, it's insane. Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We hold the most powerful tool to make democracy work for Black Americans, and that's our vote. Registering to vote takes less than 10 minutes. Help protect democracy. Go to myvote.wisconsin.gov to check your voter registration status. In-person absentee voting begins Tuesday, October 22nd. City of Beloit buses will provide free rides on Election Day. Let's be all in and vote on November 5th.
They say the kitchen is the heart of the home, but one look at this mess proved this love affair was over. If outdated, worn, and no wow factor describes a room in your home, you need the RHD Dream Team difference. We'll be on time, on budget, and fabulous from design to installation to put the heart back into your home.
6:23 on your Wednesday morning. This is from Gwen. Gwen says the Hanson barn on a day of perfection. And of course you get the clear blues, well not clear blue skies, but you got the skies back there. Don't know what kind of clouds those are back there. But
looks like cumulus.
But Chris isn't worried about those clouds.
Loving that barn.
No,
yeah.
I love those old Wisconsin barns. I really do. And Gwen knows it. Appreciate it. Thank you, Gwen. Trending this morning, some wild video from Washington State proving that it might not be a good idea to feed wild animals. Look at all the raccoons that showed up at this woman's home looking for food. She called the local sheriff's office after she found herself surrounded by nearly 100 raccoons last week, and she had to hide in her car for shelter. The homeowner said she'd been feeding raccoons for 35 years.
But not in this capacity.
And you know, and the word got out.
Yeah, the ones like, bring your friends, bring your friends. Dinner is served.
Oh, boy.
Come one, come all. Here we are. And like they ran her off her own property into her car.
You're gonna raid her kitchen now. All right. There's a new state record in Maine for the heaviest pumpkin. Look at this. It weighs in at over 2,300 pounds, about the size of a rhinoceros or a hippo. What's more, the man who grew the pumpkin was WGME meteorologist Charlie LaPresti from CBS station in Portland, Maine. So there you go, Savannah. You get a side hobby. You can grow some pumpkins.
I know. I just got to beat that 2,300-pound pumpkin.
I don't even know how they get that.
Maybe
Like,
next year I'll get
long.
2,500.
Yeah, I'm like, how long did he have this thing? And it does look kind of deflated of life, but
yeah, it looks smashed.
I know.
But you know, I guess it did what it needed to do to get in the record book. Yeah. So congrats to him.
That's awesome. Well, guys, Milton, we've been tracking the hurricane. It's still a Category 5 storm. It's maintaining its strength as it gets closer and closer to making landfall. That's expected later this evening. Looking like it's going to take a direct hit to the Sarasota, Florida area. There's lots of evacuation orders in place. There are people on the highways. I mean, just seeing those traffic cams, insane. People trying to get out of Florida.
Yeah, and then there are some who say they're going to weather the storm.
Oh my gosh, can't imagine.
We're going to have more Milton coverage right after this.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I worked as a truck driver for 36 years.
And then one day I got this letter.
Your retirement will be cut.
Will be cut in half.
You don't forget something like that.
Every paycheck we put money away. But because of Wall Street greed, boom, it was gone. But Tammy Baldwin saw what they were doing and wrote a bill to save our retirement.
Then she fought like hell to pass it.
What Tammy Baldwin did for our families, you don't forget something like that.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks a new door to unlimited possibilities. Possibilities to bring you closer to the people and the places you love. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures with the fastest and most reliable internet. Connect to unlimited possibilities when you switch to Spectrum Internet Premier for only $30 per month when bundled, and save with our 3-year price guarantee and no contracts. Call 1-844-653-6824. With the fastest, most reliable internet, you're always front row to the entertainment you love, no matter where you are. And with advanced Wi-Fi to keep you safe and secure online, you can focus on what matters the most. Spectrum Internet doesn't just power your home. It puts streaming, live TV, sports, and popular apps all at your fingertips. Get incredible savings when you switch to Spectrum Internet Premier for just $30 a month with a 3-year price guarantee. That's our promise to you. Call 1-844-653-6824.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to see the possibilities all around you. With Capella University's FlexPath format, you can fit education into your life and be ready to help others with theirs. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University.
Stanton Optical believes eye care should be affordable. Right now, for only $135, you get 2 pairs of progressives, plus all this. All that costs over $200 everywhere else. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical, easy's our thing. Welcome to Too Good to Guess. Can you guess how much 2 pairs of progressives, a free eye exam, and anti-glare lens upgrade will cost at Stanton Optical? Only $135? Wow, a deal so good, every customer wins. Book your eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
This morning, Hurricane Milton barreling down on Florida. We're going to have the latest track and how strong it will be when it makes landfall.
And also this morning, President Joe Biden announces new goals for replacing lead pipes. How much that could boost efforts right here in Wisconsin.
Plus, political ads on TV. How much do they really help out the candidates? We'll hear from experts. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in on a busy Wednesday morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Unley alongside meteorologist Savannah Burrito. You could just hear the wind roaring.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
In that live shot?
Insane.
Boy, I mean, the Hurricane Milton still a ways off of the Florida coast, but the effects, I guess, starting to be felt there along the coastline.
Yeah, you can see some of the cloud cover behind you guys and that rain that's already making its way to coastal and even inland Florida. So that torrential rain has already started and it's maintaining its strength as a Cat 5. You could really hear that. Now raindrops on that camera. Look at all that cloud cover. It just looks nasty.
Yeah, so here's another live look again at Tampa Bay, Florida. And this is pretty close, Savannah, where the storm is expected to make landfall.
Yeah, it was expected yesterday right between Tampa and Sarasota, but with the latest tracks and trends per the model, I do think that's now taking a direct hit at the Sarasota area, so just south of Tampa Bay. And we're still going to see an impact, though, all along that coast, all the way north of Tampa Bay, down to Venice Beach, and even areas west of Port Charlotte, Florida. The eye is not as maintained as it once was several hours ago, but still a monster storm expecting to cause catastrophic damage to areas along the Gulf side of Florida. Even areas near Miami, those places are included in tropical storm watches and even warnings. There's also several areas that are included in storm surge warnings. That includes areas north of Tampa all the way down to Port Charlotte too, where 12 feet plus of storm surge is expected. We'll have the latest on how we track hurricanes or how we rate them with the wind speeds and also talk about what storm surge means.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Meantime, people in the southeast are still recovering from Hurricane Helene.
And another team from our area is about to head there to help. And that team is scheduled to take off this morning from the Dane County Regional Airport. And that's where we find our Michelle Renee Quinn live. Good morning.
Chris, Kyrian, good morning. That's right. I'm at the Dane County Regional Airport where American Red Cross volunteers will shortly be flying out to Charlotte to help with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Now, I just spoke with one volunteer, Julie Zimmerman, and she says it's going to be all hands on deck.
So we are helping with everything. I mean, everything from evacuation shelters with Milton to continuing to shelter and reunification efforts with Helene down, like I said, in the Carolinas right now. So it's an all hands on deck effort. I'm coming in to relieve some folks down in the Carolinas and help that continue on. So it's going to be nonstop for the next several months, honestly.
They have about 60 Wisconsinites volunteering, and for those of you interested in helping out, visit redcross.org/Wisconsin volunteer. Live in Madison, Michelle Renee Quinn, News 3 Now.
Michelle Renee Quinn, thank you so much.
6:33 now. A woman is in critical condition this morning after being shot by a Walworth County deputy. It happened yesterday afternoon just before 4 o'clock in East Troy. It all started, authorities say, when the Walworth County Sheriff's Office was told that a woman attacked a man with a razor blade. When deputies got there, the woman allegedly exited the home through a window armed with a knife.
When deputies asked her to drop the weapon, she advanced towards them, still holding it. That's when a deputy fired their rifle, striking the woman. First responders transported the woman to a local hospital where she remains in custody.
Police in Janesville, meantime, are investigating a pair of deaths. They found two bodies near the same gazebo within days of each other. This happened on North Washington near Traxler Park. Officers say they found an unresponsive man there on Sunday. Medics pronounced him dead at the scene. Then yesterday, just before noon, officers responded to the same area for another unresponsive man. Now, there is no indication this morning of any foul play or trauma, but authorities say there is also no threat to the public. The investigation, however, is ongoing.
In other news, President Joe Biden is calling for all lead pipes in America to be replaced in the next 10 years.
He announced that landmark measure in a visit to Milwaukee. These pipes have been a source of exposure to lead, of course. The CDC says children under the age of 6 face the greatest risk for lead poisoning. This can damage the brain and nervous system and slow development. So the EPA is now going to invest $2.6 billion for drinking water upgrades and lead pipe replacements. The money will come from the bipartisan infrastructure law passed in 2021.
And over the years, we've only chipped away at the problem. But chipping at the problem hasn't fully solved it. It's taken too long. Hasn't been given a high enough priority until now.
So Milwaukee is already in the process of replacing its lead pipes. The city was working on a 60-year timeline. Again, these new federal regulations speed that up to 10 years. The EPA estimates that the rule will prevent up to 900,000 infants from being born with low birth weight. They also say it'll eliminate up to 1,500 cases of premature death from heart disease.
Now to our 3 for the People coverage. First Lady Jill Biden will be back in Madison on Monday. It's a campaign stop on behalf of Vice President Kamala Harris. The First Lady is expected to speak on reproductive rights, democracy, and economic opportunity, among other topics. There is no word on exactly where or when she will speak. Jill Biden last visited Wisconsin in June when she stopped in Green Bay.
Meanwhile, former President Trump continues to focus on battleground Pennsylvania. He is set to hold 2 rallies there today, one in Scranton and one in Reading. Meantime, Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance will speak in Arizona, and then he'll visit Pennsylvania on Saturday. Polling in that state between Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris is within the margin of error.
And you at home are probably seeing more political ads than even in recent weeks. But how effective are they at reaching and swaying voters? Our political reporter Will Keneally shows us.
Packers Sunday football game costs a lot of money, but if you're at the top of the ticket or you're a U.S. Senate candidate, it may be a really wise investment because there are so many eyeballs on it. So in many cases, it's going to depend on your objectives and the office that you're running for.
But depending on who you are, that might be out of reach for a down ballot candidate.
Legislative, state Senate, or state assembly race, to be able to break through what we call ad clutter. Ad clutter is the amount of advertising that's out there that makes it very difficult to break through with a message unless you're spending a lot of money.
With such an intense focus on Wisconsin in the presidential race, those ads come at a premium. But it also depends on who you want to get your message to.
Those folks that do have TV at home or cable at home are higher propensity voters. You're going to get an older audience that is more likely to vote.
Much of the political ground is being fought over voters who are less likely to go to the polls, and campaigns may find them on other forms of media.
A lot of talk about how candidates are going directly to influencers.
Harris, for instance, made an appearance on a popular podcast this past week. Some of the ads, especially on digital, can be extremely targeted as well.
You can create digital ads that speak directly to the needs of rural folks or farmers or whomever you're talking to, and target those ads to that audience, as well as doing the other kind of advertising that you may want to do with suburban or urban voters.
Will Keneally reporting. You can't expect to see these ads until Election Day.
6:37 now to some education news. There is new data in the state that shows that student performances on standardized tests from a year ago, and they have some catching up to do. Take a look at these numbers here. They are from the Department of Public Instruction. They refer to the English Language Arts portion of the forward exam. Just over half are in the advanced categories or meeting categories. Those are the categories at or above expectations. Now, students in grades 3 through 8 take the forward exam for English arts and English language arts and math, and then 4th and 8th graders also take it for science and social studies.
And Brewers fans, the way you watch your team next season is about to change. Diamond Sports Group, who owns the Bally Sports Channels, is not renewing its contract with the Brewers. The rights for most Brewers games are now in the league's hands. They will produce and distribute all non-nationally televised games. 2 other teams are also undergoing this change, while 3 teams already have this arrangement. If the Brewers games are distributed similarly, they would be available online direct to consumer. Viewers would have to be in the Brewers market to access them. Diamond Sports Group has been in Chapter 11 bankruptcy since March of 2023.
Well, hopefully you don't have to sign up for like a new service or anything like that, or pay extra money to see it now.
I feel like there's always something in the fine black print.
Yeah.
But hopefully not. Hopefully not this.
All right, fingers crossed.
All right, Savannah.
Have an update on Hurricane Milton, still expected to maintain strength as it moves closer and closer to Florida. Still a Category 5. We'll have all the latest coming back.
And we're getting you inspired for Halloween this morning. We're going to help you out with some Halloween costume ideas coming up next, live from Goodwill in the 608.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
You don't need to battle addiction alone. Contact the great people at Wood Violet Recovery today. You could be on your way to recovery the same day. Wood Violet Recovery works with a wide range of insurance networks, so a large portion of your treatment may be covered. Wood Violet Recovery will create the treatment plan that best suits your needs. Unlike other rehab facilities, phones and laptops are welcome. Today may feel dark, but there's a brighter tomorrow. Contact Wood Violet Recovery now.
He murdered a father of 3, sentenced to life in prison. Kamala Harris pushed to use tax dollars to pay for his sex change.
I made sure that they changed the policy so that every transgender inmate would have access.
It sounds insane because it is insane. Kamala was the first to help pay for a prisoner's sex change.
The power that I had, I used it in a way that was about pushing for the movement, frankly, and the agenda.
Kamala's agenda is they, them, not you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm working harder than ever just to pay the bills and provide for my family. But here's what Kamala Harris thought my money should go to instead. Job training for illegal immigrants even after they commit crimes in America. Hotel rooms for illegal immigrants while our vets sleep on the street. Sex changes for illegal immigrants out of my pocket. Seriously, have these people lost their mind? Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Not everyone knows us, but in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana, we are famous in our field. As a Sloan's technician, customer service is our specialty, whether you come to see us or we come to you. We are in the business of supporting your business, and we are highly trained to work on your John Deere equipment. At Sloan's, our loyalty lies with you. We depend on you, and we are proud to serve you. When it comes to service, you can count on us. Remember, think Sloan's first.
My name is Jack Frank. I'm a retired paper mill worker in the valley here, and I work for Copus and Bus part-time on the side. I've had my own route now here for the last 3-4 years, and the kids on it are great. Flexible hours, they work with you in many different ways. If you've got something going, they accommodate you, or they try to get somebody to run your road. Copus treats you decent. You know, all the years I worked here. It's a great place to work.
These Baldwin ads are nasty.
I can't stand them.
She never tells the truth. Now she says Eric Hovde wants to raise the retirement age.
That's malarkey.
I saw in the news Social Security will be going bankrupt in 8 years.
Are you kidding? We need Social Security.
You're surprised? Washington spends money like crazy.
And Baldwin supports all of it.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
You better get a job.
You get a job.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Good morning and welcome back. We've been tracking Milton for days now. It's still maintaining its strength as a Category 5 storm that is expected to make landfall later this evening along Florida, kind of right taking aim at the Sarasota area as a Category 4 storm. Tropical storm warnings, the hurricane warnings, that hot pink color that stretches near Fort Myers all the way north of even the Tampa area. Most of those areas are also included in storm surge warnings. You get a lot of that water that builds up and that actually comes on shore and even far inland. That's expected. So we'll talk about how we rate hurricanes. We use the Saffir-Simpson scale. That's based on hurricane force winds. We're going to skip right to Category 4 since that is expected to maintain strength. And even inland, actually, once it makes landfall as a Category 4 storm, that's expected to maintain its strength, at least a Category 1 hurricane, even inland, and then go out into the Atlantic Ocean. Extreme, that's the categorized definition of a Category 4 storm. Wind speeds 130 to even 156. You get all this water that builds onto the shore, inland, up to the house. You can have power outages that last days, but like I mentioned, it's still a Category 5 with wind speeds that are up to 150 miles per hour. Let's talk about storm surge now. The normal sea level, of course, you get waves that get onto the shore, at least not to serious levels, but there are areas that could see record storm surge across the Tampa Bay and Sarasota areas that are forecasting 12+ feet of that storm surge. That can completely wash away a house. We don't have rain here in the forecast, unfortunately, maybe a little bit going forward Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but temperatures here are going to be warmer than what we had yesterday, only by a couple degrees. We'll likely top out right at that 70-degree mark. Not as warm as what we're forecasting for Friday. Beautiful, 81 degrees, and then temperatures fall 67 Saturday down to 60 on Sunday. A couple areas might not even reach that. Widespread frost likely as early as Sunday. Definitely by Monday night we fall to 32, and look at those daytime highs, 55. Yuck.
32. Yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. No.
At least it's only going to be one day, I guess.
I mean, yeah,
no, it's not.
You know, at least we're looking on the bright side.
I mean,
2 degrees.
one day in this 10-day forecast,
Yeah.
sure.
Exactly.
Right.
On the bright side.
We've just got, you know,
We got
4 or
some
5
more
months
months
of it ahead of us. Yeah.
Not too much.
All right. Hey, in the 608 this morning, we're 3 weeks away from Halloween, and this morning we're helping you out with some creative costume ideas.
That's right, and we have a friend who's going to be joining us live in the 608, but I think there's something we have to say for him to appear.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice.
Oh!
Good morning, guys.
Josh Ryder this morning with some spooky season inspiration.
Hey, it sure is, guys. We're here at Goodwill on the east side this morning helping you with all of the Halloween costume ideas, and some you can really have a lot of fun with, as you can tell from live TV here on News 3 Now this morning. Michelle Harris of Goodwill, South Central Wisconsin, also joining us, helping us out. Michelle, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Josh.
It looks like it's raining cats and dogs in here.
Yeah, this is a great pun costume, and everything can be made right here at Goodwill, picked up and made.
And that's what's so awesome about this is these are truly one-of-a-kind costumes that you can get right here, and it's not going to break the bank.
No, budget friendly. You can bring your whole family in and walk and shop the racks and just create your own costume. Be very creative with it.
I love that. And speaking of families, you can also bring the family in, including the pups. And this is new for us this year. Let's talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, that's really popular, is to dress your pet, and you can get a small shirt from the rack and just dress your pet up. You can see these little pups are really excited.
For their live TV movement here.
Yes, absolutely.
So this has kind of been trendy. A lot more people are doing more with their animals, their dogs, because they are part of the family.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great, and we have lots of options for people to come in budget friendly, and it'll be very creative. You'll be the only one on the block dressing your pets up in style.
So why shop at Goodwill?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question. You know, every time somebody donates an item to Goodwill or shops at Goodwill, you're doing good for the community. And so you can think about it like every time you shop at Goodwill, you're helping somebody with a disability get a job or job training. We also have safe and stable living. So every time you donate or shop at Goodwill, you're also helping somebody with safe and stable housing right here locally in our community.
Oh, that's amazing, that positive impact. And I also love the reuse, recycle term too, because that's what you guys are all about. Even at the end of the season, you get done with your costume, bring it back and donate it.
Yeah, it's good for the environment as well. So use the costume, redonate it, and it'll be ready for somebody else to enjoy as well.
So of course, we're just over 3 weeks away from Halloween. What is your best advice for folks getting the costume that they want and deserve right now?
Well, I would get in here as soon as possible so you have first choice of what's available, and we have a lot of items on the rack, and you can just walk up and down the rack and find something that's unique and run with it.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that last minute person because you're going to have a little less options at that point.
Nope, and you want to be creative and have that one-of-a-kind item.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much. Everyone looking great here in the 608 on a Wednesday morning. We appreciate it. Again, helping us out with the inspiration this morning, guys. If you'd like to learn more about Goodwill's mission or also the many locations across the viewing area, you can go to the story up on channel3000.com. Another successful year of costumes, guys. This is one of my favorite mornings. You know, it is spooky season, and there are so many ways that you can really get creative with these.
I'm thinking that wig suits you real well, Josh. I like that one.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. Good stuff.
Should I dye my hair this color?
I think so. That's the one.
Absolutely.
That's the one.
Thanks, Josh.
We'll see what the bosses think about that.
Oh, boy. Hey, Josh is always looking for inspirational stories to share with you folks at home. You got an idea for him? Let him know about it.
Coming up in the morning sprint, results on a study of artificial intelligence in medicine.
If you got a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us a picture. We'll show it on TV.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits? I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
It's Brad Beasley over at Tundraland, Wisconsin's trusted jacuzzi bath and shower remodeler. It's our fall into savings sale at Tundraland. In as little as 1 day, you can turn your bathroom from average to amazing. Your new jacuzzi shower will be the centerpiece of your home. If you act now, you'll get free installation with no money down, no payments, and no interest for a whole year. Call 1-800-TUNDRALAND or visit tundraland.com today.
Tundraland.com. Prices are up, wages are down, inflation is crushing Wisconsin families. Yet Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Even more radical, Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. Tax hikes and higher prices for families and those living on fixed incomes. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme. Reject Sarah Kieski and her radical agenda.
100 Republicans who worked in national security for Presidents Reagan, both Bushes, and for President Trump, now endorsing Harris for president.
She came up as a prosecutor, an attorney general, into the Senate. She has the kind of character that's going to be necessary in the presidency.
Vice President Harris is standing in the breach at a critical moment in our nation's history. We have a shared commitment as Americans to do what's right for this country. This year, I am proudly casting my vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Former generals, secretaries of defense, secretaries of the Army, Navy, and Air Force, CIA directors, and National Security Council leaders under Democratic and Republican presidents, Republican members of Congress, and even former Trump administration officials agree there's only one candidate fit to lead our nation, and that's Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
The First Warn Weather Team takes you beyond the barometer. Only on News 3 Now.
6:53, time for the morning sprint.
A woman is in critical condition after being shot by a Walworth County Sheriff deputy. The Walworth County Sheriff's Office says it happened yesterday just before 4 p.m. in East Troy. The Sheriff's Office learned a woman attacked a man with a razor blade. They say she attempted to exit the home with a knife, and deputies reportedly asked her to drop the weapon, and she did not do so. That's when a deputy fired their rifle, striking the woman. She remains in custody.
Police in Janesville are investigating a pair of deaths. They found 2 bodies near the same gazebo within days of each other. This happened on North Washington near Traxler Park. Officers say they found an unresponsive man there on Sunday and another yesterday. Medics pronounced both of them dead at the scene. Authorities say there's no threat to the public.
The Dane County Medical Examiner confirms that the body found last week is 24-year-old Brooke Stratton. It comes a week after family reported her missing. Madison police consider the death suspicious. Police found Stratton in a pond on UW Arboretum property. She had last been seen last Monday with a male acquaintance. Officials have not announced a cause of death.
Voters in Madison have a layout of what next year's operating budget could look like. The mayor just presented a couple of different budget scenarios. They're based on what happens with the operational referendum. If the vote passes, the city would add garbage machine operators and boost library funding. If the vote fails, the city would end up cutting positions and funding for public safety services.
At least 14 states are suing social media platform TikTok. They allege it harms young people's mental health, physical health, and well-being. California's Attorney General claims the social media platform preys upon young people's inability to self-regulate. TikTok officials say the app provides robust safeguards for users, especially those under 16.
Much of Florida bracing for Hurricane Milton this morning. The storm is set to make landfall this evening. It's currently a Category 5. Evacuation orders are in place across all coastal areas in the path. Officials are warning of dangerous storm surges as well. It comes just weeks after Hurricane Helene struck the East Coast.
A study says ChatGPT tends to overprescribe care when used for medical advice. Researchers at UC San Francisco found that the AI program suggests unneeded x-rays and antibiotics for patients. They also say it admits people in the hospital who don't need to be hospitalized. Researchers say while the AI could be improved, it's still no match for a human doctor.
Brewers fans, you're going to have a different way to watch the team next season. Diamond Sports Group, which owns Bally, is not renewing its contract with the team. The rights for most Brewers games are now in the league's hands. And so MLB is going to produce and distribute all non-nationally televised games. 2 other teams are also undergoing the same change. 3 teams already have the agreement.
Temperatures are going to be back into the lower 70s. I think we have a better chance of seeing lower to even mid-70s tomorrow. And then how about those lower 80s on Friday? Not going to last that long, though. We dropped to 67 on Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Not ready for that 32, though. We dropped to freezing level. Widespread frost is possible as early as Sunday night. Definitely by Monday night, thinking we'll see our first frost advisory. Chris, do I have the approval to bring my winter coat out?
Hey, whatever you're going to need.
All right.
Gonna need it.
Yeah.
Savannah, thank you.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes with the news and weather update.